What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you'll see a Patreon account. You click it, you become a member. All you got to do is try recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. So click the damn link, homie. Anyway, with that being said, we are here today with the 2021 film by the name of Cry Macho. Yes, this is a movie starring, produced, and directed by Clint Eastwood. Now, a quick synopsis of this film. Clint Eastwood is a cowboy, one of them bull riders, and he's basically, falling on some hard times. All he knows is, working around the ranch, working around the farm, bull riding, that's all he knows, right? So eventually one of his homeboys lets him go because he works with him, and his homeboy eventually comes to him and tells him, you know what, I need a favor. I need you to go to Mexico, and I need you to get my son. Apparently he has a son that he impregnated some chick in Mexico. He had a son, and he started some sort of business in Mexico. Well, all right, whatever. So he impregnated this chick in Mexico. He wants Clint Eastwood's character to go get his son, right? Because Clint Eastwood's character owes him some favors, right? So Clint Eastwood goes to Mexico, tries to get the son, but he runs into some trouble along the way because everything, in order to have a good movie, you can't just have everything just fall in your lap, right? So you have, obviously, the movie is starring Clint Eastwood, who, me personally, I love Clint Eastwood, especially in his newer films, but I'm going to get into some of the gripes that I have more so with his films, but that's a little bit later. And then we have Dwight Yoakam, who is Howard Polk, and then we literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 other cast members who honestly don't have big names in Hollywood, right? So let's get into what I liked about the movie. The movie is a very it's a well written, well directed movie, right? The shots, the scenes, it's real good cinematography. It makes you feel like you're watching. It's very classic in its feel. The people the back shots as they're walking down the highway. You have a lot of little cinematic moments where there's just really good shots of scenery. The script is very simplistic, as Clint Eastwood's movies have been. Very simplistic scripts. I really feel like Clint Eastwood just ad-libs the shit himself. I feel like he's just himself while he's doing the movie, But very simplistic script. The plot, very simplistic. It's set in the 1980s. I feel like they did a pretty good job at trying to capturing the era. Especially like the border and Mexico, and I think they did a pretty damn good job at capturing it, right? The characters are really likable. It's a very heartwarming story. Clint Eastwood does that very well. He makes you he makes some pretty good damn heartwarming movies, right? Well, at least with Gran Torino, right? At least Gran Torino was a very heartwarming movie, in my opinion, But here's my problem that I'm starting to have with Clint Eastwood movies. This movie feels like a palette swap for Gran Torino. Now, this movie is a really good movie. Like, it's a fun movie to watch. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It keeps you entertained. It keeps you engaged. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. But it really starts to feel like a palette swap of Gran Torino. I feel like Clint Eastwood is trying to capture the flair that he did with Gran Torino, and he got all this praise for that movie, and then, he's trying to recapture it, So it's like Gran Torino, but racially swapped with Mexican Americans, or just Mexicans. So that's what it feels like. Like, seriously. He has a younger character that he takes under his wing, just like the character in the other movie, just like the character in Gran Torino. He has an interest in a woman, in the movie that he ends up running into. He's a widowed man, just like he was in Gran Torino. He's basically helping this kid solve a problem. There's some sort of freaking conflict along the way. But this Gran Torino really felt like it had a little bit more dialogue than this movie, This movie didn't seem like it had much dialogue at all. But in a weird way, Clint Eastwood low-key looks younger in this movie than he has in previous movies, which is kind of weird. Another thing I didn't like about the movie, a lot of the accents were bad. And I don't know if it was because, like, they told them to exaggerate it, but the accents were so freaking bad. Like I don't know if those were real authentic accents. I really don't feel like it. But it just really felt bad. Like you're listening to it, and you're just like, yo, this sounds so stereotypical. Like, you know what I mean? Like it sucks. Also, you have the theme. One thing I did like is the theme of machismo that was visited in the movie, and Clint Eastwood kind of comes to like this concluding arc where he gives dialogue to the young man about the machismo attitude, and how the machismo attitude can, lead to failure. It's a pretty interesting dialogue towards the end. But like I said, overall, it really just feels like a palette swap for Gran Torino. What is it? Korean? I think they're Koreans in Gran Torino, and they're just swapping it out for Mexicans. So it's kind of, I mean, it's not really like anything. It's not anything extravagant. It's not anything amazing. It's not anything that's gonna fucking blow your socks off. But it's a pretty damn good movie. It's a good movie. It's fun to watch. It's very entertaining. You like the characters, especially Macho. You guys will learn about Macho. The animal actors in this movie were dope. I will say that. The soundtrack was pretty cool. I mean, everything in the movie was good. This was it's just a good movie. Is it a great movie? No, but it is a very good movie. Clint Eastwood knows how to make good movies, and that's pretty simplistic. I don't know. He has the formula, and eventually maybe people might get tired of it, but I mean, I enjoyed this movie. So here on the Cinema Chop Shop, we grade movies in 3 ways. Count them 3 ways. Either you get bodied and sent to the bowels of hell, and I tell you your movie is garbage, basura, filth, trash, all that good stuff. Or I say that you get spared, meaning your movie was good, or great, or magnificent, or it just, kind of just went a little bit above the mediocre mark. Or you get a big fat meh, which means your movie was más o menos, mid-range, mid-range jumper, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? So this movie, honestly, I'm going to spare this movie.
He ain't earned the death. He ain't earned the death at my hands. God's only man, spared by the butcher.
Yes, you heard it, folks. I'm going to spare this movie. The reason why I'm going to spare this movie is because Clint Eastwood has a great formula. He keeps it very simplistic, has a good story, good cinematography, great shots, really good at capturing scenery, decent soundtrack. Even though the dialogue is lacking, he still knows how to make limited dialogue funny. He makes the characters likable. I mean, even though the accents were atrocious. And I mean, even though this feels like just a palette swap, a MK Ninja palette swap for Gran Torino, it still was a very fun movie to watch. So I enjoyed it. So let me know in the comment section down below if you guys agree or disagree, whatever the case may be. Drop it down below, and I will see you guys next time. Adios, homies.